Cowboys 1-8 Sean Rayford, AP file, South Carolina wide receiver Deebo Samuel, 1, returns a kick during an NCAA college football game against Akron Saturday, DAC. 1, 2018, in Columbia, SC. South Carolina defeated Akron 28-3. AP photo, Sean Rayford, by John Owning at John Owning. The Dallas Cowboys have descended upon Indianapolis for the 2019 NFL Scouting Combine, an event where teams gather pertinent information on hundreds of prospects. Up until now, any discussion of potential draft targets for the Cowboys has been pure speculation. Unless they accidentally leak their draft board, again, we will never get a full picture of their draft plan. The Combine, however, is one of the events that provides a small glimpse for those outside the organization. While all eyes will be on the Underwear Olympics portion of the Combine, where prospects go through a smattering of field and agility drills that measure varying physical traits, the most valuable aspects of the event are the ones the public is not privy to. All of this isn't to say the on-field drills lack importance. They're incredibly important, especially for those of us on the outside. An incredibly valuable aspect of the Combine are the medical evaluations. This is a great opportunity for teams to get an in-depth look at a prospect's medical history, performing a few tests to identify ailments that could prevent the player from being effective in the league. The formal interviews also provide a ton of value to teams. At events like the Senior Bowl, there is no limit on the number of prospects a team can talk to. At the Combine, teams are limited to a maximum of 60 formal 15-minute interviews. As the week goes by, the names of players who formally interviewed with the Cowboys will start to leak. While it wouldn't be wise to comb through the list focusing on individual players, there are a number of reasons why a team may request a formal interview. Identifying trends will glean the best information. For example, if the Cowboys use 8 of their 60 interviews on slot receivers, that's a really good indication that they will look to add a slot receiver once the draft rolls around in April. With that being said, let's take a look at a few positions groups. Number of players per group in parenthesis. Cowboys fans should keep an eye on at the Combine this week. Slot receivers 5, with Cole Beasley and Tavon Austin primed to enter free agency. The Cowboys will be doing their homework on a myriad of slot receivers at the Combine. Andy Isabella isn't going to be pegged by the annual white wideout stereotypes. He's actually fast. He beat Cleveland Browns CB Denzel Ward in the Austintown Fitch Regional in the 100 meters. With hands that small, it will be particularly interesting to see Isabella go through the gauntlet drill because it will show how much of a hindrance his hand size truly is. Isabella is still likely to star in the on-field drills, as he was a track star in high school. In fact, Isabella's best 100-meter dash time in high school, 10.51, is better than Chris Johnson's 10.66, who used to hold the 40-yard dash record 4.24 at the Combine. Will Isabella break John Ross' record 4.22? It's unlikely, but with a flawless start, he has a chance. Isabella should show well in the agility drills. Another speedy slot receiver who could catch the Cowboys' eyes is Georgia's Mecole Hardman. Unlike Isabella, Hardman wasn't at the Senior Bowl, so we don't have official measurements on him. Will Hardman come in near the 5'11", 186 he was listed at in college? That question needs answering. Hardman is another former track star who has a 10.64 100-meter dash time in his high school Rolodex and will be gunning for Ross' combined 40-yard dash record. Outside of that, Hardman should show well in the agility drills. Wake Forest's Greg Dortch is another diminutive slot who Cowboys fans should keep an eye on. Like Hardman, we don't have official measurements for Dortch, so it will be intriguing to see how close he measures to the 5'9", 165 he's listed at. Hand size will be a particularly important measurement to keep an eye on. Anything under 9 inches is considered a red flag. Dortch doesn't have the elite track background of Hardman or Isabella and isn't likely to burn the track up in Indianapolis. At his size, Dortch needs to show well in the 40-yard dash and agility drills. During his time at Wake Forest, he thrived on whip routes, so it wouldn't be surprising if Dortch put up good times in the short shuttle and three-cone drills. Toledo's Deontay Johnson is an excellent return man and another slot receiver who deserves attention. He's listed at 5'11", 181 and displays impressive athleticism on film. He's flown under the radar up until this point, but it wouldn't be surprising if his stock started to rise after an impressive showing in the on-field drills. Johnson did have some issues with drops at Toledo, so it will be important to keep a watchful eye as he goes through the gauntlet drill. If he shows a tendency to lose focus or fight the ball as it comes into his frame, it could raise a red flag about Johnson's ball skills. While he's not a pure slot receiver, South Carolina's Deebo Samuel definitely deserves attention. Samuel has the versatility to play outside or in the slot, and his on-field testing will be one of the top storylines to watch. Samuel measured in at 5'11", 216 at the Senior Bowl, but it will be interesting to see if he comes to the combine later in an effort to run the fastest times he possibly can. But if the Cowboys want a chance to draft the play-making receiver, Samuel will likely need to have average testing in the 40-yard dash, short shuttle, and three-cone drills. Tight end 5, with Jeff Swaim scheduled to hit free agency, where he'll receive a surprising amount of attention from other teams, the Cowboys will likely look to add a starting-caliber tight end to the roster. The lack of a first-round pick means Dallas will miss out on the T.J. Hawkinson, Noah Fant and Irv Smith Jr. sweepstakes. Nevertheless, there are still a few tight ends who the Cowboys will likely be keeping tabs on. We don't get to see Dawson Knox make catches very often, especially in traffic, but when he does, he shows off his athleticism incredibly well. Love that Knox goes here in high points this isn't an easy play by any means. He gets over the DB making that play too. Pic.twitter.com/RD6R929M1C, Nick Farabaugh, @FarabaugHFB, February 19, 2019. Dawson Knox of Ole Miss is one of those tight ends and will likely be one of the combine's top performers at the position. He will likely thrive in the 40-yard dash, vertical and broad jumps, but his performance in the agility drills, three-cone and short shuttle, will be the most compelling. Without good college production to fall back on, it will be important for his draft stock to test very well. Unfortunately, Knox may not run the 40-yard dash at the combine because of sports hernia surgery he underwent right after the 2018 season, he recently told the Locked On NFL Draft podcast. Because of the surgery, Knox's medical checks will be important. If the injury is nagging and potentially a long-term deal, he could be the latest prospect to see his stock free fall because of the combine's medical checks. It happens every year to a couple of promising prospects. Knox also wasn't used much as a receiver despite his frame and athleticism, so he will need to prove he has natural ball skills during the on-field drills, especially the gauntlet. Georgia's Isaac Naudo deserves attention as well. In a crowded group of tight ends, Naudo needs to test well to stand out. Average or poor testing won't doom his NFL prospects because he is a good enough technician to make it in the league, but it may cause his stock to fall a bit. Stanford's Caden Smith is another intriguing tight end to keep an eye on at the combine. Because he isn't an advanced route runner, he needs to prove he has the type of athleticism to get open in the NFL as his route running ability develops. It wouldn't be surprising if Smith thrives in the vertical or broad jumps, but his performance in the speed, 40-yard dash, and agility drills will be much more important, as he appears to lack wiggle with his routes. Smith does possess some of the smoothest hands in the tight end class, so he should be able to impress during the gauntlet drill. He is blessed with great size and athleticism for the position and should show well throughout the on-field workouts. As long as his medicals come back clean, expect to see Sternberger's stock rise after his performance in Indianapolis. Utah State's Dax Raymond is arguably the best small school option for the Cowboys at tight end. He looks like an average athlete on tape, but if he's able to test above average, it will only mean positive things for his draft stock. Running backs 5. The Cowboys will likely keep a close eye on the complimentary running back prospects at the Combine. Rod Smith was their primary backup running back last season, but he's destined for free agency and the Cowboys could opt to bring in some new blood. With Ezekiel Elliott in tow, they almost assuredly won't look to add a running back until the middle rounds, so any fans dreaming of Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Devin Singletary or Damian Harris should wake up and move on with their lives. Luckily, there are plenty of mid to late round running back prospects who would be great additions to the Cowboys roster. Oklahoma State's Justice Hill is an intriguing jitterbug type of back who would fit well in Dallas. The weigh-ins will be incredibly important for him. He is listed at 5'10", 185, but will he come in closer to 200 pounds? If so, how does that affect his athleticism? If Hill comes in near that 185-pound mark, it will raise a lot of questions about his ability to survive the punishment of the NFL, even as a backup. On top of that, Hill will need to show natural ball skills during the pass routes drill, as complementary backs need to be able to affect the game in multiple ways. Oklahoma's Rodney Anderson won't participate in on-field drills because of a knee injury, but the medical evaluations will have a large effect on where he ends up being drafted. There's a lot to like about his skill set, but he dealt with major injuries during 3 of his 4 years at Oklahoma, so expect the Cowboys, and most teams, to do their homework on Anderson's injury history at the Combine. Georgia's Elijah Holyfield is another mid-round prospect who fans should pay attention to. The son of former heavyweight boxing legend Evander Holyfield, Elijah has impressive size and quickness. There are some long speed questions, so keep an eye on how he performs in the 40-yard dash, but he should check the boxes in terms of the jumps and agility drills. The pass routes drill will be key for Holyfield, as he wasn't often used as a receiver out of the backfield at Georgia, 7 career receptions in 3 seasons. If he can show good ball skills and natural route running ability, Holyfield may jump to the front of the pack among mid-round running backs. Stanford's Bryce Love was billed as a top running back prospect entering the 2018 season, but a torn ACL sent his draft stock falling. Medical evaluations will be huge for him. If they come back positive regarding Love's rehab and ability to play long-term in the NFL, he could be a sleeping giant on day 3 of the draft. Travion Williams is another Texas A. Williams is one of the more well-rounded running backs who could be available, and it will be interesting to see just how good of an athlete he truly is. Weigh-ins will also carry a lot of weight, unintended, for Williams' evaluation. Listed at 5'9", 200, Williams is on the edge frame-wise. If he weighs in anywhere above that, and shows well during the athletic testing, it will go a long way toward answering questions teams have about his ability to survive the punishment of the NFL. Enjoy this post. See more film room breakdowns from Owning here, Twitter, @JohnOwningMore in Cowboys News.